Hi everyone, welcome back to Off the Grid, where I guess we took a week off or like a few weeks off because we missed the Saudi Grand Prix, but we'll cover that today. We'll cover the Saudi Grand Prix and the Australian Grand Prix. And I guess like first things first is that my season projections are looking rather tough. They're not looking great.
Mine too.
I mean, I had Carlos ahead of Charles, and we
Yep.
both had
We had Lewis winning, so
yeah. I mean, and George is second right now, so which is crazy,
yeah,
really crazy. Because I mean, he's just been the most consistent.
yeah. It's because Red Bull just bottling it 2 races. So
Well, yeah, and like his worst finish this season's like fifth, which is
yeah,
crazy
true.
given they're in like at best the third best car.
Yeah, but I think we all know that they're going to get into the race at some point. So I feel like these
Do
these
we do we know
DNFs.
that? Do we know
Yeah, no,
that?
no, 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 no. We do. But I think these
Okay.
Red Bull DNFs are super costly,
Well,
super
yeah,
costly.
no, it's already looking tough, but also Seb looked really great in the beginning of 2017, and then collapse. So, because I'm pretty sure I saw like a stat that this is the most points scored in the first 3 rounds besides Nico Rosberg in 2016 for Charles. And I think Seb was like fourth when he had 68 points. So
Yeah,
we'll
well, I
see.
think when Nico won didn't he win the first 4 races?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, hold up, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the weird thing is like somehow Charles gotten fastest lap in every race so far. Just like, I feel like he's leveled up in terms of his mindset where he's really going after every point.
Well,
So,
I mean, even Matthias said it that he's driving at a level that he hasn't seen from him before. So, meanwhile,
yeah,
Carlos,
it was mostly not his fault, if we're honest, but we'll get
no,
into that.
Australia was definitely his fault. Australia was definitely his fault. I mean, the
Well,
circumstances where he was in was not his fault, but him causing spinning into the gravel was his fault.
no, no, it was both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess we're gonna talk about Saudi first. We'll
Yeah.
we'll do a quick recap since it's been almost what a month now since then.
Hmm.
But yeah, Max won, which I kind of I saw Red Bull having a much better shot at Saudi than Bahrain. So I wasn't exactly surprised Max won, but the way he won it was pretty damn impressive and pretty exciting, especially at the end. That was those last like 5 to 10 laps were true good racing, really great racing.
Yeah, I think you had Max winning the race before the weekend, but then
I
on
did.
Friday we were like, and Saturday when he qualified in P4, we were like,
Well,
and
I
then
mean, I realized how quick the track was and how I didn't have as much confidence in Red Bull by that point, but I mean they did definitely have the better pace. Sergio was supposed to win the race. He got an amazing start, and yeah, I mean he took the lead. I think what was it
no,
T one? Oh no,
first pole of his career. So
oh it's
he
pole.
started,
I
yeah. So
forgot he got
he
pole.
he,
I
he
forgot he got
started
pole.
off he started off in front and was doing everything he needed to do, got a good start, but then he pitted right before red flag, and then everyone
Which
else got to
yeah,
pit, which
yeah,
is just so unfortunate. But
it
we do.
happens. Wait, no,
Yeah.
red flag? Was it a
Red
red
flag.
flag?
Yeah.
I thought it was that he pitted before a safety car.
No, no, because I think the gap was such that it was red flags. I think like even with yellow flags, he wouldn't have gone from P1 to P4. Like it was a big drop
Well, no,
off.
because he was about to get P3. No, dude. It was safety car. Because remember when Carlos came out of the pit and then Sergio tried to like push him off because like that's when he lost all the spots. And like Sergio
Wasn't
tried to
that
get
wasn't that after? I thought that was the second time
mm-mm.
he pitted.
I'm pretty sure that
Oh,
was during. I'm pretty sure that was during.
Well, regardless, Sergio lost places. He shouldn't have lost. But
Yeah, I mean, I think he would have definitely won the race if he would have kept going, but I don't know. But
yeah.
also, Charles did have pace. He did have pace in hand.
No, but if Sergio was putting it all together, like the whole weekend was it
That's
was his
true.
weekend to win, really. But
Sergio is giving a fight now, which I'm very happy to see.
he
I was
is.
concerned he was pulling a little bit better version of an Alban, but he's really starting to come into his own now.
No, no. But
He's
the thing is I always trusted Sergio on race day in a way you never trusted Alex Albon. And like Sergio winning a race last year and being Minister of Defense in Abu Dhabi. Like I think he was clearly a level up as a driver. But I feel like this car last year it felt like he was driving Max's car, whereas
yeah,
this year it feels like the car is more balanced with both drivers. I think
I agree. Yeah,
even during FP1, FP2 in Australia, Max was complaining about like understeer where Sergio liked it. Like I definitely feel like there's a mix with both drivers. It doesn't feel as skewed, which is quite surprising for Red Bull actually. But I think as an overall team, it's probably the right strategy. Like both cars fighting at the top. I think they trust Max enough where they think he can be competitive even if the car isn't like exactly as he would want it. But we'll see
no,
how it changes through the year.
I think that's fair points. I think just I don't know. Yeah, I think it's that he's had input on the car, like you said. I think that's been the main difference maker for him. And now like he's fully situated in the team because he signed the contract really late last year. Like it was like because it was after Sakir, so it was like it was after Abu Dhabi even. So yeah, he signed it really late. So he'd never like yeah. I always considered last year kind of a wash for him, but it was discouraging to the point where I was a bit like, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna see from him, but he's definitely proven it. And I think it just sucks because this would have been his first like legit win in a Red Bull because his win in Azerbaijan was pretty circumstantial.
Yeah.
But I mean, this would have definitely been his first. I mean, he got pole, so for a guy who doesn't qualify well usually. So
Well, I
yeah,
think that's the biggest difference is last year there were a lot of times where Sergio and they this is when Red Bull had the best car and he'd be like P8, P9 or something and
mhm.
you could clearly see he was off the pace, but it feels like just based on these first three races, like he's always going to be in the mix. And the Saudi track, I mean, we saw from last year is one of the hardest to really nail the lap on, but he did. So
Of course.
credit to him. And even this weekend, he was competitive in Australia. So
Yeah, I mean, less so. Max was definitely a little
it
bit
was
ahead.
tight. It was like, but like 1 to 2 tenths is like, okay, Max is a better driver. But it used to be
Yeah,
like half a second plus,
that's true.
like everywhere. So
That's
he's
true.
definitely closed the gap. So yeah, but
I
that's
agree.
exciting, I think. And I think Max wants it too. He hasn't really had a teammate, maybe besides for Ricardo at the beginning, who really challenged
Yeah.
him. I feel like now he's actually like Sergio is a legit teammate for him, which
Hmm.
is good for the Red Bulls.
I agree. Getting to the rest of the order. Um, Carlos was always off of Leclerc. He kept saying that in his interview that he always felt off. Uh, I don't know. I don't think Carlos has been disappointing per se, but he's kind of I don't know. I thought he would be much more on Charles's level after, especially after watching last year. I don't know. Just like how quickly he got to grips with the Ferrari last year made me really believe that he could do like something crazy this year. But I mean, I think that he's still I don't what is he in the standings? He's P because he DNF'd, so he's P
But I think
four.
he's fourth. I think it
P four.
goes Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Sainz,
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
and
You're right.
then like Lewis, Max. I think. Um,
So
so I don't know. I think yeah, clearly from the beginning of the
Carlos
year.
is third. Carlos is third.
Oh, he's third.
Yeah, Perez
Well,
is
yeah. I mean,
fourth.
he
I
was
see.
what he was P2 and P3 in the first two races. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Oh, right, because Checo had DNF in Bahrain.
Bahrain. Yeah.
So I think he will get there. I think we were all shocked how good he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Leclerc had a lot of unfortunate circumstances that really dropped him, and I think we all underrated him a bit.
That's true.
But I think Carlos will get back up there. But I think right now Leclerc is just the class of the field, really. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But I
I
mean,
guess.
we
Yeah.
know he's a reliable driver, though. He's a qualified Ferrari driver. I think we're saying this now, especially off the DNF, but he could win in Italy in 2 weeks, and we'll be like, oh wow, he's on it.
In a
So
week. In a week.
we'll see in a week. In a week,
In
that's
a
right.
week. Yeah. I guess going down to the rest of the order real quick. Alpine was strong. Alpine, they were probably the third best team. Maybe Mercedes was, but I think Alpine
No,
was,
on
yeah,
balance, I would say Alpine. Yeah.
Alpine was the third best team. They almost killed each other, but at the end of the day, Alonso had to retire because of an engine failure because Laurent Rossi thinks that performance is more important than durability. So good for them.
Yep.
And George Russell finished P5 because I think he was a beneficiary from the safety car, and he was just able to hold position at that point. Um, McLaren P7, that was a pretty big revelation that McLaren was in the points and actually semi-competitive. So, I mean, as we see in Australia, that it kind of continued on. So, I don't know. Maybe they found something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they fixed their Bahrain testing issues.
Definitely feels like I mean, if we go to Australia, which we
Yeah.
will in a bit, like
We'll just get through the rest of this real
they're
quick.
solved they're solving things though. Yeah.
Yeah. Pierre in P8 because he's Pierre. K Mag in P9 because Haas needs to be in the points. Lewis finished P10, which honestly pretty disappointing. I thought he would be able to run up to the field better than that. Even though the Mercedes isn't as fast, I thought he would be able to do a better job. But
It's not, I don't think it's a very overtake friendly track aside from the one DRS zone,
that's
which
true.
we can talk about in a
And
bit.
plus he kind of got screwed over with the strategy, like so because
Yeah, yeah.
he did not benefit from the safety car at all.
Exactly. I think he even said in the interview, like he was really putting it together. He lasted a while on his tires. And then once they came back out, he was just like, the car didn't
Yeah.
feel right. So
And I guess the last thing to say from Saudi was that a lot of DNFs, a lot of DNFs. I know Ricardo DNF'd. I know Valtteri DNF'd. Alex DNF'd because he crashed with Lance. Did Latifi DNF? Probably.
mhm.
Yeah, he crashed. I forgot he crashed. Of course he did. And
Yep.
who else? Yuki DNF because he couldn't even start his car in the beginning of the race.
Yep. And Mick didn't even race. So
And Mick didn't race because he had this one of the scariest qualifying crashes I've ever seen.
yeah, I think if there's any theme through 2 years on this track, it's that this track's a bit on the dangerous, unsafe side.
Yeah.
So
And plus, I mean, there's a big question of should we have been racing that weekend? But, you know,
right.
I don't know. I don't think we should have been racing that weekend, but that's a whole different discussion.
Yep.
But moving on, we'll move on to Australia, the one that happened last week now. And well, it was pretty uneventful, to be honest. It was pretty uneventful
It
besides
was.
Carlos got a terrible start on because he was on hards and had a new steering wheel. So both of those factors, he just did not get off the line well. And then he just tried to make up spots, overdrove going to the chicane, and yeah,
To the gravel. Yep.
that was tough. I mean, K-Mag did the same thing, but his was more controlled that he was able to stay on track.
Yeah, I mean, I just even back to qualifying, you do have to feel for Carlos because the lap he was on, I mean, I wouldn't be pole, of course, but he would have
It
been
was
where
P4.
he,
It was P4.
yeah. So even if he doesn't get another good lap in, which he didn't,
Yeah.
starting P4 it totally changes the game. It changes the tire strategy. So
Yeah.
who knows what could have happened? But
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like a lot of it was team error, but I mean, it was pretty, like the mistake he made was pretty bad. It was pretty bad to overdrive it that early into the race when, you got time. I mean, obviously you have to make as many spots as possible since that's when the cars are closest together, but I don't know. You're in a Ferrari, you can take your
yeah,
time.
it
But
just it kind of felt like one thing built on top of another. It just got worse and
yeah,
worse for him.
it's all right.
But
Hopefully he bounces back. But for the other Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, his first Grand Slam, he was just disgustingly fast. There was just nothing else to be said. Max was able to stay with him kind of close at the beginning of the run. And I remember after the safety car ended, Max was able to stay with him for a bit and like challenge, but just didn't have anything for Charles. And then Max eventually
Yeah,
retired from
it
the
was it was
Red Bull Porsche powertrain, soon to be Porsche.
yeah, it was really strange because the whole weekend Ferrari had been running a setup where they had more porpoising because they thought it would
Mm-hmm.
improve performance. And I remember all the commentators, Brundle especially, was like, Red Bull's got a very good package and they've minimized their porpoising. And it felt like the narrative, even into the beginning of the race, it was like Red Bull might have the better race pace. And then just as
Didn't
something
happen.
just snapped. I mean, that gap was like, it really reminded me of like Red Bull Mercedes gap in like the Netherlands race or like in like Austria last year. It felt like that type of gap,
Or
like
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 just
half a tenth. I sorry, half a second a lap almost.
I was
It
gonna
was
say
a
just
it was like a
Mercedes in
serious gap.
general. Mercedes in general from 2014 to 2020. It felt
I think
reminiscent.
that was even bigger. That was like a second a
No,
lap,
I
but
know, but I mean it was dominant. Like because Charles wasn't even pushing it that hard,
no,
like
no,
at the point. So
it was just
yeah,
pure dominance. I mean, for Leclerc, it's a combination. I think he's driving the best he's ever driven in the best car he's ever had. So
yep,
all the pieces
agreed.
are coming together for him. And I think this was the first weekend of his career where it was like in control from beginning to end,
I
never in
agree. Yeah,
doubt. So
that's true.
huge weekend for him. I think
Happy for him, but I
yeah,
mean, let's see. I don't know. I don't. I think there has to be one team that rises from the midfield to contend. Maybe not for wins, but contend for podiums. I just see it that way because always in these regulation cycles, there's always a team that really just messes it up in the beginning, right? And then by the time we get past summer break, holy crap, they're in the top three. So I think
I
I don't know.
mean,
Like
right.
I
So
remember it happened with McLaren in when was it? 20. Oh man, I'm forgetting which one. What number?
what is it? Lando's first year?
No, 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 no. It was like 20.
Oh,
Like
way before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, not way before.
Like,
Like when
well,
when
like
Lewis was there.
Lewis was there. So, well, he was there till what,
Not
2013?
2014. Not
20,
2014. It was 2007. I want to say
well, seven was
maybe.
when Lewis was in
No,
second
no,
in
no.
the
They were in the champion.
championship.
I don't know. I'm forgetting. Maybe 2011. Maybe.
I know what you're
But
talking. There was a year where Lewis was
yeah.
like in contention for the championship. I think it was one
Mhm.
of the Vettel years,
I
probably.
mean, yeah, probably. There's a lot of
um,
those.
no,
But
because wasn't it like
I think
going
it
to
was
the last
2011. I'm pretty
race?
sure it was 2011. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah,
know, but
that was one of the
or
better years of Formula One. I remember there was a lot of people. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I was hoping for with this package. Right now,
well, the thing is, like, if you take Charles out of it, that's kind of the case. Like, just looking at the
well, yeah,
leaderboard,
yeah. I mean, the
like,
rest of the standings is. I mean, Charles is double the points of anyone, right? Like he's far double the
yeah,
points of anyone.
he's
Because
at 71, and next is like 37 or 34 or something. Like, it's a
let's
big
see,
gap.
yeah,
I
George is
think
at
he's
37.
he's really benefited from one
So
the
not
Red Bull
double.
DNFs. Yeah, is benefited
Mhm.
from like the Red Bull DNFs and also just everyone else kind of fighting each other. Like, feels like the Mercs have taken the points off the Red Bulls and vice versa. But
No, yeah.
he's just
I,
been clear the whole time.
and I mean, who would have thought that Hamilton and Verstappen would be 5 and 6 in the championship after the first 3 rounds? I don't know. It's just how it works. I mean, we had them highest rated on our driver ratings, and I mean,
Mm.
not to say that they like got worse as drivers, but I think that we've discounted Charles. I discounted Charles. You wanted Charles at a 91. I put him at a 90, but I think
No, we both discounted him though because I
yeah,
think these
I think
races
he's
have
driving at a
proven like,
92, 93 level right now.
oh no, I think higher. I think higher
I mean,
because
I think we need a larger sample size.
we need a larger sample size, but I feel like it was understood before last year that it was like Lewis, Max, Charles are top three, and everyone else is below. Maybe like
Mm,
Ricardo knocking on the door before last year.
Ricardo.
Before
Oh,
last year, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
In
Okay, yeah,
2020,
yeah.
he was like what,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
third or fourth in drivers in that freaking Renault. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely, he was up there.
Was he
Um,
fourth or fifth? I don't remember. One of those.
I
But
think he
yeah.
was fourth, but um, but yeah, it was always understood to be those three, and then Charles
Mhm.
had a uncharacteristically bad year last year just because of circumstances. Like he still had good drives in Silverstone,
That's true.
but I feel like this year is like he's really proving that he's on the same level as those guys, and I think he's. I don't think he's quite as good yet. You can't say that yet, but he's clearly like
He's getting
close
there.
to them.
He's getting. I mean, he's
Yeah.
still so young. He's got so much potential to still unlock. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I think he's he's got that same sort of maturity that like a younger Lewis has. Like he makes some mistakes sometimes, but I feel like mindset wise, he's like going after every point and
That's true.
make like I remember that like he was going for the fastest lap in Australia and the freaking Ferrari strategists were like, we think we have it. And he's like, no, we have to go for it. And he got it on the
Oh
last lap.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he
yeah,
wouldn't have gotten it otherwise. Those
yeah,
Ferrari strategists are garbage, but
yeah.
he's
Uh,
Charles in full control.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about Charles besides he's pro- he's proving to be. I don't know. I think he's gonna be the next champion at this point, but
I
also
mean,
too early.
it's only been three races, and
Just
I
some mindset wise, just mindset wise, not
well,
even.
thing is like 30, what is it, 34 points is the gap right now.
Mhm.
It's really not as much as it seems. Like
Well, yeah. I mean,
one
if
DNF,
you yeah, one DNF and it ends
because
everything.
you know Mercedes they're going to be on it. I can guarantee at some point in the season they'll
I
be
think Mercedes
arguably
will
the
get.
best.
They'll get a win. I think they'll get a win. I don't think they'll have the flat out best car though. At any point. Maybe at a specific track,
No,
but
there'll
not.
be. I think there'll be a point in the season, especially after summer break. Maybe it's too late for them, but
Mhm.
there's gonna be a point in the season where they're like right at Ferrari, Red
No,
Bull.
I can see them like at the Hungaroring doing something, but that's the extent of, or
Well,
maybe
the thing is,
I don't even know.
the car setup keeps changing, so it's impossible to even know really what's
True.
going to
Well,
happen.
because the
And development's so
thing is
important.
it's too draggy in the straights and not enough turning in the turns. So
It's so weird. Like the car doesn't do anything well, which is why it's really such a miracle that they've gotten all these points. But
yeah.
yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
moving on to that, Sergio P2. I mean, again, kind of handed to him, but he drove a solid race and you got to finish the
Like
race.
it's redemption for Saudi. He deserved a lucky
Well, yeah,
result.
he deserved a good result. I don't know if
Yeah,
redemption per se, but I think it was a good
it
result.
wasn't a redemption, but it was a
Yeah,
good comeback off of Saudi. Let's say
I agree. I agree. George P3, Lewis P4. Um,
first
yeah,
podium for Georgia.
George also got fortunate with the safety car this weekend and was able to leapfrog Lewis. And Lewis was mad. He was tight that like, did you hear like after the radio, he was completely silent after the race. He was mad. Which
Yeah,
like,
well,
I don't know.
but
He tends
he
to get in
did
his feelings like that a lot after.
he does but he did clarify. I don't think he was mad at like he wasn't mad at George.
Well, no,
He
he was
was
mad at the
like that.
team.
Well, but yeah, but it wasn't because like they were all kind of talking about how like the Mercs weren't challenging each other. I think he
Yeah,
was his issue was I think he felt like the car wasn't good enough for him to do anything more.
maybe.
More than like passing George, but
Maybe,
we'll
but
see.
he always has the signature great job, great. We gotta keep working at the factory, guys, kind of thing. You know,
Oh yeah,
he didn't even
yeah,
say anything like that. So that's why I was just like interested, like, hmm. But also like
yeah,
this entire week, I've just seen it. He went skydiving with George. He's been just like hyping George up. So I think it's more at the team than anything else.
yeah. I think
But
so. But
like Lewis
I
always gets mad at the team, so it's okay.
yeah, I think we're I think we want to see elbows out though. Like it's a bit
Eventually,
it's a bit boring when they're just like following each other.
no,
Like
I agree. Speaking of following each other, McLaren, P5 and P6, shocker of the weekend. I can't believe they were that fast. And I mean, they were pretty level with Merck, if not better. I remember in the first run, Lando was stuck behind George. Like Lando was definitely faster, and he just couldn't get by him.
oh yeah,
And
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 the quality
Daniel,
pace was there too.
Yeah, and Daniel was right with Lando this entire weekend. I mean, he till the end of the race, he was right behind Lando. I kind of wish they would have
Well,
let.
he was no, he was going into the last few corners. He was literally 3/10 behind
Yeah,
Lando. Like
yeah,
it
he
felt
was.
like a situation where he could have passed, honestly.
He's
But
a,
I think
yeah,
just
but also
team
they said
management.
that they said on the last lap on Daniel's radio that Lando was managing an engine issue and that he may start slowing down rapidly. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, but also like Lando wasn't opening up a giant gap with him. Like it was respect. It was just like I think Daniel's been able to now. He was kind of in a similar situation that Sergio was last year. I think that he was kind of
Exactly.
he didn't get to have that much input into the car. Now that he's had his input, because like he had to change his driving style for it. So now that he's had his input, it works out now for him.
Yeah, and I think also just there's something to be said for just spending another year at the team. Like you're just more comfortable with your day to day and you know everyone and you're more comfortable with your engineers. I think all of that's played in and
True.
I think he's right there with Lando. I think Lando's obviously the slightly better driver, maybe we'd say. It's only been three
Mhm.
races, but I feel like Daniel's definitely closed the gap to last year. Last year, those first few races with Lando versus Daniel, that was like the biggest gap really between any team, you could say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy that Daniel's back to somewhat his form, and hopefully McLaren keeps it up. Lando kept saying that this is the best it's gonna get for a while, but I don't know. I feel like McLaren's been downplaying a lot ever since Bahrain, so we'll see what happens for
Well,
them.
yeah, even in Saudi, Lando
They were
was like,
quick. They were decent.
yeah, and but Lando was like, it could get worse, and they got
Yeah.
significantly better here. I think really the story of the weekend, aside from Leclerc's dominance, is McLaren's clear surge into
Yeah.
like the fourth, maybe even third best
Mm,
team. I feel like race pace, you might still give edge to Merck, but it's pretty tight.
I think that McLaren is pretty. They're like I don't know if they're better than Alpine because it could have just been a track thing, right? Like Alpine was probably better than them at Saudi and definitely better at Bahrain, right? I don't know. I think
Yeah,
Alpine's been solid. Like
I
I
I think
mean
so because
I
you
mean
also have to
yeah,
think like if you look at like Fernando was on a cracker,
he was
absolute
he was
cracker
gonna
in
qualify top
qualifying.
three. He was gonna
He was
qualify top three.
I think P2 was like possibility,
I think so too.
which in what you would say like the third, fourth best car
Yeah,
in qualifying. That's like classic
yeah.
Fernando. But I think he got screwed starting
Because
P10.
a $1 part failed on his car. It was an oil seal. $1 part failed. Happens, but
What can you do?
Alpine performance over
Yeah.
reliability.
Yeah, but the overtaking was not there. And yeah, it was unfortunate. But I do agree, Alpine in contention. And actually, Esteban in all three races has always been like, he's been one of the more consistent drivers on the
I
entire
mean,
grid.
Esteban's only 5 points behind Max.
I mean, yeah, it's like circumstance. But
No, I
to
know, but I'm
speak
just
to
saying
your
like
point though, like he's been like between like
he's
P5 and
consistent.
P7 like every race.
Yeah, which is good. I think I personally have disrespected Esteban a bit too much in the past, and I
I
think
have two.
I think he's starting to prove. I mean, he definitely is an F1 driver. There's no doubt about it. He is definitely an F1 driver.
Oh,
I
easily.
don't
I
know.
think
Is he in the top 10 best F1 drivers?
right.
He
So
could. I
like
think he's 10. I think he's 10.
so I said I meant I think in our driver ratings, at least I had said that when
I
I think
forget where I put him.
when I think average F1 driver, I think him. But
Hmm.
I think he's gone from maybe being like an 83, 84 to like an 86 or something. Like I
I
feel
can
like
see
he's
that.
gotten slightly better. So
I can see that.
good races for him.
Yeah. Moving on, Valtteri P8. I didn't even know where the hell he was, and then he just popped up P8, and I was like, huh? I was shocked.
Yep.
But really great for him. Great for Alfa Romeo. I can't believe they're this competitive. Not I mean competitive in the sense that they're in the midfield. I didn't think
I
they were going to be
mean,
anywhere
you thought they were
close.
going to be the worst car. I thought they were
Yep.
going to be the second to worst car,
Yep.
and it's
Yeah.
not the
I mean,
case.
good for them. I'm happy for them. That's all I gotta say is I'm happy for Alfa Romeo. And
Yeah,
Guang Yu Zhou finishes 11th again. He's been P10, P11, and P11. Really, I mean, I
really
think
good.
I'm really impressed by him.
Well,
He's been
I thought he was
so
gonna. I
solid.
thought he was gonna be. We had him as the lowest
We had
rated
him as the lowest
driver.
rated driver.
He's so clear of Latifi. It's a joke. Like
He's so
we
clear of a lot of
underestimated him.
drivers. He's
We
clear.
underestimated
He's
him.
clear of Yuki as far as I'm concerned right now. Yeah.
I don't really know about the performance of that Alpha Tauri though. Like I have no idea what to make of
Well, that's
that
because
car.
Yuki's like barely finished a race this year.
Yeah, but even Pierre, like Pierre had
Because
issues.
what
Pierre had
happened?
issues, and he had to retire obviously in
Hmm.
Bahrain, and
Yeah.
I think
Then
he had issues at Australia too. Like
Yuki had to retire. Well, no. Yeah, Pierre finished P9.
yeah, but I remember there being some. I remember I maybe this is wrong, but I remember there being some issue with his car towards the end of the race. Like he lost a bit of pace.
I don't
So
remember. Maybe. But okay. I guess I think the final thing to talk about points is, of course, Alexander Albon. And that absolute shitbox of a Williams bringing it P10 is pretty
ridiculous drive. He was on
57,
crack in that race.
57 laps on hard. I can't, dude. I was like, he's gonna have to pit. Like when the safety car came out, I'm like, oh, okay, he's gonna have to pit. He didn't pit, and he just held out on the hards and he kept up with the McLarens.
Well, I thought he was doing it just to like see. He's like, oh, we're not
You know,
getting points anyway. Let's see
yeah, I
like
thought he
what
was,
the race pace is.
yeah, and
It
I
was a
assumed
full
that
strategy. Like,
I thought they were gonna hold. No, I thought it was they were holding out for another safety car, so then everyone
but
would
no,
pit.
that's
Yeah,
I thought that too.
but I mean, crazy. I'm so
Ridiculous
happy,
drive.
and I think Alex is proving what he showed in the Toro Rosso at the time, and in
Yep.
F2, his ability that he has genuine ability.
He's a great driver.
They just need to put
That's
him in not the Williams,
that
and
was, but I mean, that was. I don't know if it's a product that I mean the hard tires were lasting a while, but he
mhm.
was literally matching the pace of like the Mercs and the McLarens, like
I know
in a Williams.
in older tires, crazy,
And
crazy to
I don't
me.
know how does that happen?
I
Like
I
I don't know
I
if
really
he's
couldn't
like
tell you.
crazy, but I would say
MVP. Well,
if you don't count Charles, I mean
yeah,
I don't really know what to do with that, but otherwise he was the driver of the day for sure.
absolutely. We talked about Guang Yu Zhou. Lance Stroll tried a similar strategy, I think, to Albon. Him and Kevin Magnussen were trying to like hold it out on the older hards. Lance actually drove a decentish race, but he just got
All
screwed
thing
over at the end.
all things considered, yeah, but he was weaving all over the place. Like
He got the
it,
penalty for it.
he did, but he could have gotten another one too. Like I think he was frustrated. And
I
obviously,
mean,
no, Seb going out. I mean,
yeah, Seb just spun it. He did what every F1 player does when they turn off traction control. Like
yeah,
I remember when I turned off that is exactly the way I crashed. And I'm just like, yeah, that's just before that, he went into the gravel at one point, like he braked too deep. And he was just saying sorry, like the braking with this car is weird. Cause like this was Seb's first weekend in the 2022 car, period.
exactly. Yeah.
Minus testing, but like testing was so long ago and the car has obviously evolved since then. So, I mean, this was, I think, always going to be an uphill task for Seb. But as we were talking about before, at least I think before when we started recording, that I don't know, man. I think there's going to be an open seat at Aston Martin next year. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it just feels like for Seb at this point, I mean, he's got no chance of winning another title. So I
The
feel
thing
like
I don't see Aston being competitive.
yeah,
I don't
but
give
exactly.
next year maybe, but like also I think best case they're like a top midfield team. It has to be 2024 is going to be their championship aspirations, and even then it's like
Yeah, but I mean, he's not
really
getting any younger. I mean,
no, and
the thing I like about Fernando's situation is like the car is like a good competitive car, and
mhm,
his driving ability can, in certain situations, like we could have seen in qualifying, can elevate him. And I feel like his position is very good, where it's like, I mean, obviously you'd want to have the best car, but he's still competitive, fighting for points, and
yeah.
really at this point, like what, like anywhere from like P5 to P8, really every weekend. I feel like for Seb, I don't really know if the motivation's there.
No, I agree. We'll find out. We'll find out. I think by the summer, but yeah,
Yeah.
sucks for Sub. Going through the rest of the list. both Haas's 13, 14. Mick was I'm just gonna say this. I had such high aspirations for Mick this season. I mean, Haas surpassed my expectations, but Mick has just simply not delivered anything on pace. I mean, he had a few mistakes during the race that cost him that spot, but I don't know. I'm really disappointed with Mick. Kevin got screwed over with the strategy. He was on the unoptimal strategy, and Haas looking not as fast, which is worrisome. Maybe they're falling behind on the upgrade battle. We'll see. I know a lot of teams are bringing upgrades to Italy, but yeah, I think besides that, I don't know. There's not much else to. I mean, Max obviously going out, the reliability of Red Bull once again, um, looking like Honda in 2017 and 2018, but yeah, I don't know. I think if they don't fix this, that there any shot of the title is gone, right?
I mean, it already feels like very unlikely for them.
You gotta fix
Like,
your camera focus.
I know, but
Wait, you gotta like that. Let's do that. I know. Wait. No. What is it focusing on? Why did it get so bad?
okay. I'm having issues. Red Bull's having issues. We got
Oh, wait. Oh, it almost refocused. I don't. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. Oh, it focused on your hand. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, we got it. There we go. On the spot tech support.
yeah.
But
Speaking
I
of
mean,
issues,
I don't know. I'm worried about Red Bull in terms of reliability. But yeah, I don't know because like they've thrown away like Max. I mean, he wouldn't have won Bahrain or Australia, but
yeah,
you
but
threw
P2 at least.
it's
He threw away
36 points.
36 points.
And then
Yeah.
Sergio threw away what is it? Another 15 points at Bahrain.
Yeah, no,
Oh wait, no,
DNFs.
or was he P3? No, he was P4. So he threw away 12 points, but still.
No, he was P3. And
No,
then
he was
Lewis
behind. He
passed
was
him.
no, he was behind Carlos. Max was Max was
Oh,
P2,
right,
Carlos was
right.
P3. Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you count it like if you count it like
After
after
Max.
Max, yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. True, true. No. I
But
mean,
anyway.
either way, they missed out on about 50 points, more or less.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
No, those mistakes are crucial. Like the only reason last year was even competitive at the end was because
it's
of the
because they
Red
were
Bull
reliable.
DNFs.
They
Well,
had no reliability DNFs.
yeah, exactly. But on the other hand is like the reason Merckx got back in was because they had three DNFs, which were obviously
Well, yeah,
because of
they were for
crashes
different
and
reasons. Yeah,
yeah, but like generally saying like DNFs are
that's true.
horrible. Like I don't know. And especially because it's reliability, like I feel like the mindset of the driver is kind of a bit different
Yeah.
too.
No, yeah, I mean, we saw it from Ricardo in like 2018 when like the Honda unit just kept sputtering and he just didn't like it was to the point where I mean he left Red Bull
I
obviously.
think it's part of why he left. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean besides not wanting
Obviously,
to play second fiddle to
yeah,
Max.
max favoritism also, but
But
like,
yeah. I mean,
yeah, so they've got to get their shit together.
yeah, I think any path to Red Bull can't have any more reliability related DNFs if they want any path to the title. I believe in Max as a driver, and I honestly believe in their development of the Red Bull car. I believe that they can make a car that's better than Ferraris in a few races. I think they could, but if they can't get rid of these reliability issues, then it's to no point. It's to no avail.
I don't know, man. I mean, that Ferrari car looked like much better than it looked
You know,
in
you
Saudi.
apparently, according to Mattia, I don't know if this is true, but they're saying that for the first, was it 4 rounds, 5 rounds, they're not using full engine power to make sure the reliability is good. So, yeah,
That sounds like some
no,
Merc stuff, dude.
it also could just be cap, but if it isn't, yeah,
That's such,
you might just want to sign off on the season. You might just want to,
that's it, folks. That's such a
yeah.
bomb to drop, though. I respect to Mattia.
No, I know. Aston Martin's the last team to get points. I think that's crazy given how much investment they put into this car.
You had them P5.
Yeah, I did.
I had them P6. So I mean, I'm not much better, but like
Yeah, I don't know.
they're
I just
easily the most disappointing team. Easily.
yeah. Oh well,
If you
by
don't count
far.
Mercedes, maybe, but like
No, no.
honestly, I feel like even going into the year, we both thought. I don't think we both thought Mercedes was going to be the best out the gate.
I don't know.
My
I
my thing
I
was
thought
always
that
like if something went wrong, I trust their team to get their shit together and figure it
yeah.
out quick enough. That was my
I
whole thing.
assumed a 2017 repeat where Ferrari started off hot
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
fell apart and Mercedes just had the better car by the end. That's what I assumed was going to happen. Mercedes is
Yeah.
way further back than I realized now. And I mean, they're behind Red Bull and even at some points behind Alpine or McLaren. So, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah, but
also
I
Mercedes is
think
second in constructors. So,
yeah, and they also said they're bringing upgrades for that
yeah.
Italy race coming
But
up. So we'll
also,
see what the car looks like.
upgrades don't necessarily mean the car get better, as we saw with the Haas
True,
in
true.
2019
You
or
also have to
2020, one of those.
adjust. You also have to adjust to the upgrades. But I
Yeah.
think the thing also is I think Charles is a better driver than Seb was in 2017, which may be controversial, but I stand by that.
I could see it. I mean,
I think he's
peaked. Well, obviously he peaked, but you
yeah, but
are you think he's in the retirement stage? I think he hangs it up if it's this bad. Like, why would you want to come back if it's this
money.
bad? I don't. But he has like
Doesn't
he's
feel
not.
like the type of guy who like cares about money like that.
Plus, I mean, he's already like who knows how much he was making at Red Bull when he and Ferrari when he was driving there. Like, I think money is not an issue for him at this. Like, it's not like a reason for him to stay, right? I don't know. I think it's at the point where he chooses what he wants to do. He chooses his own destiny now.
Yeah. I don't think another team would take him. He's too old. Not good enough.
Maybe. I mean, he
It
did
sounds
get
hard. It sounds
he
harsh,
I
but I
mean, he
feel like
did
it's
get two.
true.
He got two P2s last year. One of them being disqualified and one of them being circumstantial, but still. And I mean, he had
They
good
were
runs.
both circumstantial.
He had
But
oh yeah, that's true. But he had good runs. Like he had good drives.
if I felt like I mean, you can't count this last race, really. That's a bit unfair. But even
Yeah,
last year, it felt like he made a lot of like uncharacteristic mistakes for such an
that's true.
experienced driver.
That's
I
true.
don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we
We're
love Seb, but like,
we are gonna be making the 2023 driver predictions video very soon anyway. I think it's gonna be the next video that's up, in fact. So
so then, yeah, we can.
I mean we'll talk about it more in depth then. But yeah, did we short on anyone? Oh yeah, Nico
No, it's
Hulkenberg drove
everything.
for 2 races. We didn't talk about Nico at all. He sucked. Yeah, that's it. No,
Good
I
in
mean
qualifying in Bahrain. That's
he was
about
good in
it.
Bahrain, but Saudi was. I mean, that was his first time at the track, so yeah, that must have been a steep learning curve for him.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I
mean,
think
he was yeah.
I think one thing we can also touch on is feels like Haas came back down to earth a bit. Like
A little bit.
The McLarens got significantly better, and the
But
Alpines got
also, it's been such a
and
small sample size that
Haas got worse.
we don't know if it's because of the track or if it's because of actual upgrade performance. So I think we're gonna have to
Yeah,
see.
but I think if your car like has such a significant drop from I wouldn't say significant really, but it was a drop. Like don't know.
I don't
But
know.
I feel
I
like
think that what do you call it? Imola will be a good test for to see what's what.
yeah,
So
I
I
agree.
don't know. I'm excited for next weekend, and
Should
I don't
we
know who should we get make our picks.
yeah, I was gonna say, should we predict anything? Um
You can go first.
I'm going Charles P1 until I have any reason to say otherwise. Um I think do I think the question is do I think the Mercs or the McLarens creep in at all? I don't think so.
Nah.
No,
Okay.
I actually honestly I think Carlos has a back. He has a redemption weekend. I think he's P2, and I think I'll say Max is P3.
I'm
So
gonna go.
another Ferrari 1-2.
I'm gonna go Charles, Max, Carlos. I think Max was really damn good at Imola last year, so I'm just going off his
He was,
performance.
but
And
he also he had a help from Sergio off the line to help him
that's true.
take the
That's
lead.
true.
And I
He
think
didn't
if
qual. Yeah, he didn't qualify that well either.
yeah, I think if Ferraris are 1-2
Actually,
or 1-3,
fine.
they can
You know
control
what?
the
I'll
race.
I'll flip the script. I'll go Charles, Sergio, Carlos. I'll flip the script. Why not? We'll see what happens. Probably
That would be
not true.
exciting.
That that'd be I'd be so
Yeah.
happy.
I think I'm really rooting for Carlos to get a win though, especially coming off this
I
weekend.
mean,
I'd love
I
to see
always
that.
will be. I always will be.
Yeah,
I
but
hope.
it feels like he has the car for it now, and I feel like Leclerc is. I mean, he's been so dominant that I feel like it'll be a bit boring if he wins another race.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a Lewis Hamilton type domination, but we'll see.
It seems like it.
At least for the
Seems
season,
like
I
it
think,
so
or at
far.
least until summer break. We'll see what happens after summer break. But
Yeah, but if he builds up the gap so big, then you start to
well,
do
no,
the
no, no.
math.
But I mean, he can still win the title. I'm just saying domination in terms of winning races.
No, I know, but I mean, what if he's got like I don't want to say it. What if he's got like 100-point gap at the summer break or something? And what do you
I
do?
mean,
It's like over.
you just make sure you don't DNF and just finish every race. That's really it. You just make sure you
The,
don't finish outside the points ever.
the thing with Ferraris, I don't think I'd ever be comfortable until the last race.
Oh yeah,
Like
no,
it's just mathematically
I,
impossible.
I think like I'd give Charles like a 65% chance of winning the title right now. But that's as high as I'm gonna go with Ferrari.
Yeah. I think we just need to see it's been too smooth. Nothing's gone wrong for them yet.
True.
And
True.
maybe if that continues, then props to Ferrari.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak to their recent history though, which is why
Agreed.
it's hard to fully go there yet. But I think it's just a ideal start for him. Even like I mean, one thing we should touch on is DRS being a bit OP with these cars. I don't really know what they're gonna do to change it, but especially in
They're not.
Saudi, like where
Yeah.
like they're like stopping at the end of the
Well, I
corner, like
mean,
that. No, that's against.
they were doing that last year too.
But it
I think
felt
it's
no,
fun.
but
No, I think
it
it's
felt
interesting.
even worse.
I don't
No,
know.
but it
I
doesn't.
kind of liked it.
It feels against the spirit of racing though. Like the idea you
That's
would
true. That's
intentionally
true.
slow down is
I don't
no.
know. I think that well, the intention is like these cars are supposed to be like the beginning of like trending away from DRS, right? So that we don't need DRS to pass cars, that we can just pass them.
Yeah, but like this is like a point where like the cars are a bit better at following and you have DRS. So it's like
Yeah, you might
I
as
mean
well limit it.
if it makes for more overtakes, it's fun. But like you just don't like to see situations where cars are intentionally slowing down to get
Well,
the
what
DRS.
makes you think that F1's about racing?
Fair point.
Yeah. With that, we will leave it there. Next video, I think definitely will be the 2023 driver lineup before, hopefully before Imola, should be before Imola.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, we'll have our graphics back, our nice Google Slides back. And yeah, okay. Until then, do you have any concluding thoughts, Jay? Any concluding thoughts?
No, I just hope it
More
gets a bit
interesting.
more competitive at the top. Yeah, this last race, if we're being honest, it was pretty boring. It
You know
wasn't
what?
too much going on.
If it rains, Fernando's on the podium. I'll leave it there. I think I'll just leave it there.
I won't
That's it.
disagree with that. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Until next time.
All right.